Well, not gonna lie to you, I'm a little tired. It was a long day today, long day yesterday. I noticed that the days you don't do well really suck the life out of you. So yesterday was a long day. um, Hopefully, looking at the way things are going, this is one of these valleys we're just gonna have to get through. The lockdown will eventually end in Ontario. There is a small amount of relief coming financially from the racing industry, so that's good. We'll work through that over the next couple of weeks. But for right now, I want to talk about the babies that went today. I have a top 10 list. A lot has changed. And you guys know how this works. This time of year, you see a lot of changes. And to be quite frank, the horse that was on top of the list last week didn't make the list this week. And that will happen. And the only way that does happen is if we have a lot of, at least from week to week, what looks like talented horses. To have that fluidity, that actual change in the numbers in which the horses land is good. It's a good feeling. So let's go through the top 10 list. Now, I as I usually do, I make a larger list. I had 18. I took 4 of them off. The last 4 were really tough to get off. So I think it is worth noting the horses that we had to remove late. The last 4 that come off. First one that comes to mind, Massive Profit, trained good again today. Made a little break. That's part of the reason he wasn't on the list. Made a little break when he got doubled up. That's just immaturity. He'll learn how to get through that and how to negotiate those speeds where he slows down and speeds up as the race is going. But for now, Massive Profit didn't make the list. I wanted to put him on the list, but he just didn't make it. Trained well today, a good mile from him, closing up strong. As James put it, he feels like he wants to and could do more than wants to do more than he's able to do physically right now. So that's always good. Like to have overachievers, and Massive Profit, as we go along, he's healthy, he's strong, he eats good, he'll put muscle on, and then I think you'll see him get better and better and better. But today he didn't make the list. Tioga Sunshine, second to Bomb Hugger. She looked very impressive today. There were 10 horses I thought belonged on this list ahead of Tioga Sunshine. She was great. She did her work, finished second. No faults at all. Just the 10 I put on here, I think 2 of them are winners, so they deserve to be on here ahead of her, even though she's done as much or more so far. Fair is fair. Those horses won their sets. Even a horse like Kathy with an Eye. I'll let the cat out of the bag a little bit. She comes in at number 10. We'll talk about her in a minute, but she won her set. She did her work. Pretty hard not to put her on there. Also, Blue Bayou Dio won her set, and I didn't put her on the list. I got a couple of second place finishes on here first. Blue Bayou Dio needs to do more all the time. I was happy with her today. Functionally speaking, mechanically speaking, there's a lot of polishing needs to go on there, but the intelligence is there, the will to do her work, the work ethic, all those things are present. Just a little more polishing and she'll be perfect. And Twinkle in her eye was second today. You got to believe, I'll let the cat out of the bag again, come in at 9, and he won the set. So it's pretty hard to put her on ahead of him. And as I said, this is a pretty strong set from what I saw today. I went back and looked at a few of the videos again. From what I saw today, the horses on the list belong there. Those 4 didn't make the list. There's 4, 5, 6 other ones that I had on the original rough draft that didn't get in there. But these 4 were very difficult to take off. Massive Profit, Tioga Sunshine, Blue Bayou Dio, and Twinkle in Her Eye. If we had a top 14, they'd be on the list, but we don't. We have a top 10. So coming in at number 10, as I said a minute ago, Kathy with an Eye. Short field. She was the only one that stayed trotting, but the way she did her work, the fact that she didn't urinate on me like she did on Wednesday, made me happy. But the fact that she trotted well, understood her work, followed Resolute Bay, and in fairness, I probably wasn't beating Johnny, but Johnny's horse exploded halfway down the lane. Was it when I hit Kathy a swat with the whip? Did that scare him? Maybe, but it shouldn't have. So he's got to get his act together over the next little bit. A few little tinkers here and there, but he looked good. Resolute Bay looked good. Here's of the 14. Here's a horse that could have easily made the list. Number 15, Resolute Bay, but he didn't. Number 10, Kathy with an Eye. She belonged there today. She did her work well. Regardless if the set was 3 and 2 of them made a break, or 8 and none of them made a break, she did her work well today. Kathy with an Eye. Top Marks comes in at number 10. Number 9, you got to believe this horse, a little powerhouse. Very, very inexpensive horse. Again, in the state of Ohio, that it looks like we're gonna have a lot of fun with. He can really dance. He controlled the front end. I had made a break in there, a 3-point blue chip. He controlled the front end, and from where I was standing, the vantage point I had back a little ways, it looked like he won the set very handily. You got to believe, got to put it after the way he's been training the last 2 weeks. He belongs on the list. Number 9, you got to believe. Number 8, Renegade Gypsy. I believe this is his first week on the list, if I'm not mistaken. He looked good today. He looks like he has the makings of a very, very good horse. He's much bigger than the other horses, yet he negotiates this half-mile track very well. He looked good today. Mario put him in a good spot. He trotted well. He looked very confident to me. I was very happy with Renegade Gypsy. This is a horse I think I and everybody else should keep a very, very close eye on. Number 7, Miss Mildred. Come on. Miss Mildred, a lot to learn. Very, very green, but this is a powder keg of an animal. I moved her over, just brushed her tail with the whip, and honest to God, it was like a bolt of lightning hit her. She just came unglued for a second, but it was all in the form of pacing. She exploded forward, and then, I'll talk about the other horse in a minute. Let's talk about Miss Mildred. Miss Mildred looked fantastic, did her work well. A lot to learn. Very rough work in progress still, as she should be. She doesn't have the actual miles and work and hours on the track that these other horses have. Miss Mildred was very, very good today. Number 6 was Spent, again, closing hard at me down the lane. Voyage of Ice and Fire is a powerful horse. Spent was coming to me and looked good. Mordiner was coming to us also. Rolled off in the same spot he did last week. We still got to work on him in that regard, but very clean, beautiful gait about him. We're not talking about him, we're talking about Spent. He was very, very good today, closing up strong. Easily number 6 the way he's been training. Now, if you have weeks and weeks and weeks where you look good, you're more apt to make the list, and that's why it was so difficult to take a horse like Tioga Sunshine off the list today. But Spent looked good. He needs to be on there. Number 5, Of Tom, powered past him today, did her work very good. What I liked was she felt more strong. She felt more powerful than she did the week before. So if I, somebody who loves this filly and goes with it all the time, can see these incremental changes, this progression in her training, then it's a good thing. Because usually when you go with them all the time, it sneaks up and you don't realize it until you actually look back and see it. But when I can feel it week to week, that's a real good feeling. I'm very impressed with what I saw from Of Tom today. Number 4 today, Eyes of 10, won her set. Amy looked good, come first over. Big filly did everything right. Look at the horses we have for Ohio. I just mentioned Of Tom, right? Purple Aura didn't make the list last week. She was number 1 last week. Another Ohio horse. Eyes of 10 jumps back on the list. I can't let the cat out of the bag on that one. We have a number of Ohio breds. Granite Hill, keep your eye on Granite Hill. Today was the day he stamped his way into the principal's office for the next couple of weeks. I suspect you're going to see a much better, much different looking Granite Hill over the next 14 days. Who else do we got? Sweet on Pete. She didn't do anything wrong. She's coming. I'm going to work on her the next 2 weeks just because she needs the help. And I'll give it. Help is on the way. You're going to see a much different horse. Matt's MVP looked good again today. These are just Ohio horses I'm bringing up. Kathy with an Eye won a set today. Looked good. Confederate Cruiser made a break but looked fantastic on Wednesday. You Gotta Believe, very good again. Prairie Fire, Jimmy said was fantastic today. He didn't make the list. 1-2 Skip a Few, again, Jimmy said was great today. Didn't make the list. These are all Ohio horses. We should have a lot of fun in Ohio this summer, so we'll get right back to it. Number 5 was Of Tom. Number 4, Eyes of 10. She just looks so, so good. This is a horse that we're all cheering for quietly. The older people, the old guard of the stable.ca is quietly cheering for this one. This is Lawmaker's sister, obviously, and Lawmaker played a very important role in the progression and growth of the stable.ca. So, number 4, Eyes of 10. Number 3, another Ohio bred, Voyage of Ice and Fire. Rolled off stride today and almost made another break at the road. Next time around, I gapped back off Unbeatable Kemp, who made a break today. Rare, very rare that he do that in that place after I'm training so strongly. But the track was different. The track was a little more snowy and deeper on Wednesday. Today it was a little more bare and hard. So did that play a role? Probably. I would say yes. So I followed Amy, gapped in my cover at the turn because he was out of gear. If you watch closely, you can see what I'm talking about. But he didn't want to run. You know, you'll hear us all the time say, he was trying to make a break. It's kind of unfair. How about he was trying not to make a break, or she? So Voyage of Ice and Fire, I had to coddle him around that turn, but when I put him in gear, it was game on. And for a horse that had been out of action for a couple of weeks, he certainly put it on them today and looked good doing it. Voyage of Ice and Fire. Loved George last year, the Break the Bank K that we had, GW Chrome. He's coming back good. And I love Voyage of Ice and Fire. Number 2, this affiliate bumped around the list. Number 5 in the catalog at Lexington. You know who I'm talking about. Bomb Hugger. I'm putting her on here not because of consistency, because she has zero consistency. She ran plenty of times over the last month, but I tightened her hobbles up, put her head pull on tight today. We added a Murphy blind, added a little more weight up front. There was no making any breaks today. She was going to be in a position to do her work. When I moved her, she felt like a racehorse and screamed past Tioga Sunshine. Now, if you spook a horse and they take off, when you do put them in a position to settle, they generally don't, right? They're a little unglued. As soon as this filly cleared off the lead and I cinched the bit up in her mouth, she just come right to a halt. Cornered the turn, sized the turn up, cornered around the turn, and took off again down the lane. This was a filly. This was the horse we purchased in Lexington. This was Bomb Hugger today. I don't know what was going on the last 2.5, 3 weeks. She's made her mistakes. I hope today was a turning point for her, but man, she showed me things I didn't even know she could do today. That was an impressive looking mile. So you can only imagine. Try and guess who's number 1. If I just told you, you saw how impressive Bomb Hugger was, how good she was today, and I didn't make her number 1, who was number 1? I didn't even go with this horse. I'm going to give you a second. Think about it. I didn't even go with this horse. I was second. Just got beat. Young Brody LeCain went with a Sunshine Beach horse today named Almost There Boss. Now, I was absolutely airborne in the last turn when I moved Miss Mildred. He caught up to me and passed me going under the wire. Impressive. Nothing short of impressive was that horse today. Now, the other day I got an email from the majority owners. The breeder of Almost There Boss kept a large portion of this horse. And he said, listen, is there any way we could put this horse in the Breeders' Crown in the Metro, make the payment? First payment anyway. There was a voice in my side of me said, geez, he's a Sunshine Beach. He would have to be the best one of all time to be competitive in those fields. But it's hard to tell. You know what? He's done a lot. Let's see how he does. After today, I'm still not going to say, oh my God, we have to pay him in. A case was made today. That was an impressive move, an impressive training set. And the most impressive thing is that we were flying down the lane. Not only did he catch up and look good, he passed me. He passed Miss Mildred. Now, another Sunshine Beach. Now, we don't know how good everybody else's horses are. We have no idea. And I'm not going to say, oh, this horse is a great horse, because we have no... The ultimate factor is, how good is everyone else's horses? We don't know until June or July. All I know is what I saw today. That was an impressive move, an impressive animal. And I will have and will make the payments for Daryl into the Metro and into the Breeders' Crown. It might sound stupid, but at the same time, I can't fault him. Not even a little bit on what he did today. It was a nice mile. So, very impressed and happy with Almost There Boss. I thought Miss Mildred was tremendous, and he beat me fair and square. Those were 2 very good-looking horses today. Not to mention, we're talking about horses that may have been on the list. Luck of the Dragon missed by a long neck, and he was very good. Probably, of all the improvements we've seen, right, 1, 2, skip a few. All these horses that just look good now. Few horses catch my eye as being more improved than Luck of the Dragon. Go back and watch any videos of Luck of the Dragon from the day we broke him till today, and every single week. Progression, 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 progression. The horse I saw today looked very, very smooth. Very, very good. Very, very fast. An impressive looking colt. Nonetheless, Luck of the Dragon didn't make the list today, but easily could have. Another horse that was late coming off. So that's your top 10 list. Just a great day of training. I didn't do my video yesterday about the Meadows because I was in no mood to. I wasn't optimistic. I wasn't pumped. I wasn't happy. Where was I going to draw the optimism from? The large Starbucks didn't do it. Pizza didn't do it. I did a video and I just erased it. Today, now there was some optimism. Top 10 list. Kathy with an eye easily made it on. Did her work well. Number 9, You Gotta Believe, earned a spot on there. Number 8, Renegade Gypsy, keep your eye on this colt. Number 7, Miss Mildred looked fantastic. Number 6, Spent, continues to look fantastic. Number 5, Of Tom, looked very good again. Number 4, Eyes at 10. Number 3, Voyage of Ice and Fire, powerhouse. Just love this horse, and I love what he did today. Number 2, Bomb Hugger. Nobody trotted as fast. Nobody moved as fast as she did for an 1/8 of a mile today. That move from starting into the backstretch to when I cleared off the front was impressive. Actually not quite as impressive as the fact that I was able to throttle her back, put her in neutral, give her time to square the turn up, and trot through the turn and trot away to victory. That was the most impressive part of that mile. Bomb Hugger was very, very good. And as much as I can glow about how good she looked, Almost There Boss was an eye catcher today. Go back and watch the video. Go back and watch what Almost There Boss did today. Just go watch the video. It is worth it. I went back and looked after. He was behind me the whole way. Snuck out in between, kind of shoved the horse over a little bit, maybe a little eye. I could have had you set back. Brody moved over in the middle as Jimmy was out a little bit with peanut butter and jelly. Caught up to me, moved over, and passed me at the wire. That was an impressive training trip. As good a training trip as I've ever seen a young horse go over this track this time of year. Almost There Boss deserved to be number 1. Great job by Brody. Great job by the colt. Very impressive looking group today. Now I'm happy. Now we just need the horses to go out and race good again, and I'll stay happy. We'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Hope you all had a great day watching. I had a great day training. Take care.